Hey guys, welcome back to the range. I wanted to show you something really quick. I'm just going to do it, and a lot of you are going to know exactly what it is that you're looking at. Some of you are going to go, what is Abner trying to do? Ready? There's only so far I can suck my gut in to do this. You know what? Let's get really blatant about this. I can't do it. Okay, I hope by now all of you have understood what it is that I'm trying to do. Guys, I'm trying to pull my trigger with something, anything on my belt. The knife isn't going to do it, it's too floppy. And the edge is too rounded. Here, the edge is too rounded, so that's not going to do it. The belt isn't going to do it because the belt as well, it's an ox belt. The belt is also very rounded. Not to mention it's too low. It's way too low. The holster itself, those of you who've asked many times, the holster itself, this is the only holster that I've been able to use that doesn't require the foam on the back, which is just such a great feeling. And also something that I had to do, because I think initially I actually did have some foam on the back of this. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I have been able to shed enough weight and keep it off that that it doesn't catch anymore. Oh, by the way, I better cover this for the next several videos until I get my eye surgery done. Some of you are going to be asking, what's with the weird shades? The glasses that I'm wearing are polarized glasses, and they actually fit over my prescription glasses because I'm having eye surgery in a few weeks, and I'm not allowed to wear my contacts until I have the surgery. Or, well, I'm not allowed to wear my contacts anymore because of the eye surgery. It's going to be LASIK surgery. So, getting back to this. I have been trying to pull the trigger. I mean, seriously guys, even with, you hear people complaining about this, okay? I'm trying as hard as I can to pull the trigger with my holster, and it's not happening. I've spent a fair amount of time on this subject matter because you go to classes and they talk about this, and they talk about this ad nauseum, which is why those of you who've trained with me know this, that I give you like a smidgen of information on this, and I say to you, you need to be wearing synthetic undershirts that are skin tight, because what you don't want is your undershirt, which can cause enough of a bulge to go over the edge of the holster. And if enough of a bulge of fabric gets underneath that trigger, let's see if I can simulate it. I can't do it with this one because this is synthetic too. Cotton shirts do this. They can actually creep right underneath this area, and they can catch just enough of that trigger to, at the very least, to cause a snag. Potentially could pull the trigger. The only time that you really should be considered, that you should be worried about something pulling your trigger in your holster and around your holster is if you've been on the ground. And not even on the ground on pavement, but on the ground, and not even on terrain like this, because there's nothing here. There's just grass here. But on terrain where there are branches or mulch, that could end up in the holster, and something could be sticking up out of the holster and could do that whenever you're holstering. Okay, that's the one thing that could do it. But all the other times, sorry, I've been through too much ground fighting classes. I've been to too much, back up. I have attended too much ground fighting training and attended too many classes where they're medical in basis, where you are gonna be on the ground, where the instructor starts squirting blood on you and they basically start pushing you down and saying, this joint is damaged, the knee is wrecked, so now you're in this position, and they roll you forward and they say, okay, from there, go. And you do end up rolling around all over your gun, and crap gets all up in your holster. And I've been to classes that were so bad that the student ended up in a position where we're on the firing line, and he's like, I can't get my gun in my holster, there's too much crap in it. So the instructor says, all right, well then take it off. And he had one of those holsters that was laced through the belt, and he had chosen to have a bunch of auxiliary gear on his belt and the holster didn't have straps on it. It actually had set loops that the belt passed through. So for him to get that off, everything else was going to have to come off. So the dude is like, you know what? I'm around men here. So he just unzipped, took it down to his knees, and flipped the holster over and shook all the gravel out and pulled his pants up. We were like, woohoo! Guys, that's the reality of training. That's what it is. And honestly, that's a camaraderie. Anyone who's ever been through the military or a seriously tough academy like I did, police academy, there's a camaraderie that comes from suffering together. And a lot of the damage that I have now, a lot of the scars that are on my hands, I got in training in the civilian environment, not even in law enforcement, but in the civilian environment, because we were all suffering together in the cold and in the heat and in the wet. So anyways, that's what I wanted to show you guys today. There's so much emphasis that is put on, you need to visualize that gun back to the holster. No, I disagree. Because if you've done your job clearly and you've actually followed through properly and actually visualized the problem and made sure that that problem is no longer a problem. Guys, I'm trying not to be gross here, but I've already shown you this before in videos, and I'm going to show you briefly what I'm talking about. If you're aiming for the central portion of the head, that takes a person out. Doesn't mean it kills them, but it causes enough damage that that person stops. That fight is over from that person. So tracking that person down is crucial, which means you don't get to go bang and then immediately throw it in the holster, which is a thing now. Other instructors that I talk to tell me the same thing. I see people who come out here and they shoot and they throw it in the holster. I teach my students follow through. It's shoot, track the target to the ground, and as you guys know, these targets, when the legs are folded, they actually go to the ground. So the student doesn't have to imagine that. So they actually track that target to the ground, and I encourage them, try to hit that thing as it's falling. So basically, bing, and it begins doing this, and I go, get it, get it, get it, and they go ding, ding, and they actually track it to the ground. Guys, satisfying. Let me tell you what, it is really satisfying. And that target is now down, and then I say, okay, suck in a breath, and now, check 360, look around you, and now, get that gun up. Because right about now, the good guys are coming around the corner, and you do not want to be the good guy standing holding the gun with the bad guy and whatever mess he created all over the floor, and you're the one person standing with a gun in your hand. So follow through properly, put that gun up. And that's why I'm just not big on that whole visualize it back into the holster. There's nothing here to pull the trigger. So look, I'm gonna be blunt about this. I just shoved the gun behind the holster. Seriously guys, I'm aiming this gun at my gut. Once again, unloaded gun. Okay, I am trying, jeepers, I can't even, wait, yeah, oh. I thought I had it. Seriously, I thought I had it. Let me show you. Right there. See it? See how the trigger's moving? I thought I had it, but guess what? See the trigger safety on the Glock? Unless you actually depress that right there, which this holster can't get in deep enough to get, the trigger actually began to move, but I could not pull the trigger because I couldn't engage the trigger safety, the drop safety. Yeah, I know. There's still someone who's going to be like, yo, but, no. Now that doesn't mean that your holster won't pull the trigger. That doesn't mean that your holster doesn't have sharp edges that can pull the trigger, so you better figure this out for yourself. With an unloaded handgun, please. Unloaded means ammunition out of the gun, set aside, weapon locked to the rear. Visualize daylight through the mag well. Visualize the chamber. Inspect the chamber with your finger. Check that gun. There is no ammunition on your person or in your room, then you try this. Okay? Don't do anything boneheaded and then try to accuse me of getting you hurt, because if you're a retard, you're a retard and I can't help you. You notice I'm not politically correct? Well, that's life. All right, guys, get to it. There's your information. Try it. This is some of the stuff that I teach when you guys come out to Handgun Intensive. Guys, I try to pour as much good sense. I don't even like using the word, the term common sense, because common sense anymore, what is common anymore is stupidity. I don't even like using the term common sense. So I try to pour as much good sense into you as I can, and then we go from there. As always, I thank you guys for watching. God bless you all. Get those guns out and practice. Have a good one.